And now for our feature presentation.
This is great because on the back it actually says this film is also known as
the I'll Watch It Later podcast.
You never heard of that film?
And now, on with the show.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to I'll Watch It Later podcast, the podcast where we lie about the movies we've seen to impress our friends. As always, I am your host, Aaron, joined by my best friend and co-host, Jordan.
Hi, everybody.
And my producer, brother-in-law, and all-around just asshole of a guy, Scott.
Starts off so good.
Yeah. I just, deep feelings.
Scott is here. He does things.
General D-lister, Scott.
Yeah. His presence annoys me. Wow. I'm just appreciate you guys are all on time today.
I do all the back work. Everybody else just shows up and reeks the rewards.
You're the podcast atlas. You're just holding us all up on your back.
Hold on. Did he just say we reek the rewards? Reap.
What?
We reap.
I said.
You said reek.
Something smells here.
You show up and you just reek the rewards.
You said reek. Play the tape.
Reap that time.
That's probably like Aaron with a D. That's probably what you heard.
Anyways. All right, everybody. We got a lot going on today, so let's just jump right into it. Did you guys watch anything this week? Because I saw Buzz Lightyear, or Lightyear, whatever the fuck you want to call it. Did you guys get a chance to see anything?
I got nothing this week. Absolutely zero.
I've been catching up on making sure I watched a lot of the TV shows that have been out. I've been watching... I finally saw the second episode of Miss Marvel, and I've come to the conclusion that show is not made for 43-year-old men.
Well, and I completely agree, because I'm also caught up on Miss Marvel. By the time you guys hear this, the third
or fourth episode
will be out. So, and Obi-Wan will be finished, and we'll touch on all that stuff after the snack show. But, yeah, I agree. My biggest problem, though, and this is a huge issue for me, is they are making it so you have to watch these shows in order to follow along with the movies now.
Right, I'm going to do it.
And same. But here's my problem is this show isn't for me. And I'm okay with that. You like this show? That's great. I'm tired of seeing the 40-year-old guys can't handle it. No, it's not for me, and I shouldn't like it.
Well, it's not that I can't handle it. It's just the content doesn't relate to me, and it doesn't make the show bad. It just doesn't make me engaged.
Right, and I cannot find myself. I've tried really hard to like it, and it wants to be Spider-Man, and it just doesn't work.
It's quirky, and
characters aren't that interesting. And I know, whatever. I'm a 40-year-old man, and it's not for me. They're not supposed to be interesting to me. They're not. This is like Riverdale or something. This is not supposed to be my movie or show. And I'm kind of mad that these should all be standalone things that exist in their own world, kind of like the street level heroes type thing.
Well, because Moon Knight exists in its little bubble.
Exactly.
It doesn't technically connect. There are little Easter eggs, but it doesn't connect.
Every once in a while he'll join the Avengers to fight somebody.
In the comics, yes. But in this particular realm where the show itself stands by itself, can never interact with anything, and I would still enjoy it.
Exactly.
And it has nothing to do with the character, the content. It's a good story. It was fun. And it was that this show doesn't do anything for me, and this one is so interconnected that I do feel I have to be forced to watch it. And it bums me out because I've seen a lot of people complain about this kind of thing before with the movies. Well, I didn't see this, and this, and now I'm lost watching this. And I was like, well, you should have watched this. And I'm like, fuck you. You should have watched it. Who cares? And then I get to this, and I'm like, fuck.
Well, so I guess
now I'm in that boat.
As somebody who is probably not going to watch this series, because I just looked at it felt the same. I felt like this had zero interest in what I wanted to actually sit down and watch. Like, so why do you feel that this does not relate to older you guys?
Because it's about a young girl and her about her growing up and her relationship with her parents, which is completely different than anything we've ever experienced. It's quirky, and it's it's very centric around social media and finding a boy you like. But
this is coming from a table of older guys
Yes.
who love coming-of-age movies.
I do, but this isn't a
true.
coming-of-age tale. This is
That's what I'm asking.
This is
so.
more of a like, I'm quirky and I have, I can draw, and here's all my high school problems that you could never relate to because you're not in high school in the year 2022. If that makes any sense.
Yeah.
Like, it's like nothing in the show is relatable. Once again, I don't care about any of these characters. I don't care that and you know what? A lot of it is a rehash. So like you get your Pretty in Pink and stuff, which I do love, but it's like the best friend wants to be with the girl, but he can't. And then there's this new guy who shows up, and he's the cool guy, and she wants to be with him, and of course he takes an interest to her. But I'm sure there's something nefarious there. Like I could write this from a million miles away.
It's very predictable,
and it's just like, okay, this isn't offering me anything new, and it's written in such a way that it just doesn't appeal to me. And once again, if you like this show, awesome, more power to you.
right?
I'm not.
And I'm gonna have Emery watch it. I mean, it's up her alley. She's 11.
Right.
This is perfect for her.
But I didn't like the Captain Marvel movie.
No.
Yeah, neither did I.
No.
That's
and
why.
it has to me, it has nothing to do with Brie Larson. I've seen her in other things
I
where
hate her.
Yeah, I don't think she's a great actress.
Me neither.
in this she's not. But she's in another one called it's not Room. I
It
think
is
it's
Room.
just Room.
That is a good movie,
Right.
but it's not her that makes it good. It's that kid.
No, but she's not bad in it. Like, and I've seen her in other things prior to that was okay. But in her
Scott
role,
Pilgrim.
her role in this, I love that movie. Her role in that franchise is bland. And I understand she's, she was raised by aliens at this point. Her memory was lost, so now she's a robot at this point. But it's just not
She does very
engaging
well.
to me, and I didn't find the story that engaging. And yeah, Miss Marvel, the whatever you want to call it now, I didn't like it. I'm gonna see the sequel because I'm stuck in it.
Right.
And this is kind of like the back door of getting Ms. Marvel, which could you do the most confusing fucking thing ever in the history of ever, to get her into that movie that's going to be coming out next
The Marvels.
February or something like that. Oh no, I think it's next July because they switched with the new Ant-Man movie or whatever. But for me, it's taking Spider-Man and you're putting a Muslim girl trying to navigate her life in Jersey City. And I'm completely for having representation. Everyone should deserve to have something, and that's fine. But for me, this story is boring. And I'm not engaged. It has nothing to do with like, oh no, she's a Muslim. Who cares? Good for you. That's awesome. And I'm glad you guys have woven it into a story that works for you. It just doesn't resonate with me. And I have nothing against the religion. It's just it doesn't do anything for me. I'm not a teenage girl. I don't care about the techie boyfriend who's really cool with everybody, but you're right, he's ducky. You're
he
never
really
going to get the fucking girl. And
No, he's gonna get. He's
I know
gonna,
what I mean,
because
but-
you know how this is gonna go.
Oh, sure.
That dude that she's with,
oh yeah, she'll be the guy.
because the grandma
She'll
or
be the guy
whatever
in the
shows
chair.
up at the end of the second episode. Anyways, and like I said, and I think what Jordan was trying to say, and he did a fine job of saying,
Well, thanks.
we don't care about the whole
That was a compliment.
thing.
Right? We're the asshole
I
when
hope
get
there
down
are
there.
tons of
Write
girls
that
out
down.
there watching this and saying, "Oh shit, this is for me." Like, good, more power to you. I hope you love it. I hope it is right up your wheelhouse. But when you create a world that is so large and interconnected as the Marvel Cinematic Universe, I need to be able to connect with something, and I can't. And you know what? That's my fault because I'm 40 and I don't care.
And that's
But-
and then that's when I watched it. I'm like sitting there going, I don't hate this, but it's not for me.
Yeah.
And that's just what I'm taking
But
away
I'm
from it. But I'm gonna watch it.
I have no interest in it whatsoever. Like,
No, I actually dread every Wednesday night. when
yeah,
it
I
comes
was
out.
just gonna say, I was
I'm like,
just gonna say,
another episode.
Wednesday comes
I have
around
to
and
watch
it's just
it.
like, fuck. Well, I guess I'll kill an hour and just throw this on. But
Which is weird because usually they don't overlap their properties. Like they've done a Star Wars show and then there's a break and then there's a Marvel show. And then that's how they've been doing it. And I'm sitting there going, all right, I get to watch Obi-Wan again. It's episode 3. And then I'm looking at, what the fuck is Miss Marvel doing here? Get out of my feed. I got to watch fucking Obi-Wan. And now I'm like, okay, that's weird that they kind of doubled up. But I think the problem is they've got Thor coming out in July, and I don't think they want to cross over that, and they just had to double up everything, and
it's fine.
So,
Obi-Wan's
I'm
great.
not going to complain about content. I just think it's weird.
Obi-Wan's great. The last episode was killer. I fucking loved it. Did you watch it?
I'm not caught up yet.
Okay.
Of course not.
Nope.
I can't talk about it. Fuck.
Yeah, there's just a really bad
I'm gonna-
editing thing that I really wanted to talk about, but we can talk about it next week. Or the
I
week
cried.
After.
I'm a simpleton when it
You
comes to this
can
shit,
talk
and
about it. That's fine.
No, it's okay.
I'm just, the way they're doing it, it's funny because people will sit there on the internet and they'll complain about shit. And then an episode comes out that answers all the shit that they're complaining about. And it just pisses me off about fandom in general, especially Star Wars fans. And I've got tattoos. I'm the biggest Star Wars mark there is. These people fucking give us a bad name, and it bums me the fuck out because
Nobody
the
hates
show
Star
is giving.
Wars more than Star Wars fans, and I don't care anymore. I just
I don't listen to them. Let them complain. I hate that they fucking take it to the fucking mat and try to get people, to kill themselves at this point. But
Canceled.
But I like where the story's going. It ties up weird plot points and loose ends that George Lucas created for himself between the prequels and the original trilogy, and they make things work. I like the characters. I'm gonna say it. I like this little fucking girl that plays Leia. Like, she does it so well. I do. Like, not in that way. Stop squinting at me. Stop. Who are you dialing?
I just think she's annoying.
So is Leia. Leia starts off annoying. She's immediately going, "Oh, Vader, you fucking, I can smell your stench." Like, she does. She's that way because that's how, Leia was. She was bold. She was fucking, in your face. She didn't conform to that prissy senatorial type of way. And this little girl, I think, does a great job of it. And say what you will, I'm not going to attack a fucking 10-year-old girl. Like, she's doing a great job. And I think Deborah Chow, and at this point, Bryce Dallas Howard, I think, say what you will, give these women the fucking franchises. Like, they're fucking killing it.
Well, Filoni.
Filoni's directing them in the way to do it. But
And
every episode of
Favreau.
every episode of Mandalorian and every episode of Book of Boba Fett and all this fucking series, the ones that I've loved the most have literally been directed by Deborah Chow, Bryce Dallas Howard, and this series is directly, completely under Deborah Chow. And I think there's something to be said that they finally fucking got people to really care about these franchises. And I love it. Like, I'm really digging this, and I
It's
cannot
whatever
wait
you
to
love,
the rest
Jordan,
of it.
not what everybody else likes. So,
Fuck everybody else. They ruined it for everybody else. I'm gonna love what I love.
so I was able. Did you see anything this week, Scott?
No, he said no. He's
Nope.
Sorry.
No.
I just wanted to reiterate that Scott, the normal guy, never watches any movies. I was able to check out Lightyear. I liked it. I had no interest in seeing it. Once again, I grew up with Toy Story films, but it just felt like it wasn't made for me. However, I wound up really, really liking it. I think they changed a lot of Buzz Lightyear's personality. He's
How?
like, because in Toy Story, he's like all about like the people and like all that stuff, and he never really cares about just himself. In this movie, he just cares about himself. It's all about him and him getting a certain task done. It just when you see it, you'll understand. I didn't have a problem with it. It was weird. It just didn't feel like Buzz Lightyear to me. As the movie progresses, it feels a lot like Buzz Lightyear, and then some stuff. There's a cool twist at the end, and I will not ruin for you because Scott hasn't seen it, and he's like, "I'm going to see it, guys, so don't ruin it for me." Even though we ruin everything.
Are we
on
going
the
to
show.
take bets to see if he actually goes to see this movie?
He's not going to go see it. I'm going to have to wait till it hits fucking Disney Plus or something to talk about the twist.
I will find it where I would not have to leave my house.
Sure. Anyways.
He's like, "Hey, if you're going to go with your daughter, can you live stream it for me?"
Yeah.
He's going to watch it on Twitch.
Put
I'm
it
going
on
to be streaming
Facebook
it.
Live.
The more the movie progressed, the more I enjoyed it. And then it gets to the end, and it's fun. It's a fun movie. I don't know specifically how Andy would watch this and be like, "Oh my god, I need a Buzz Lightyear," because you don't even get the full Buzz Lightyear suit until the end of the film, like with the laser and the gliding
Have
stuff.
you not been a kid and watched, okay, so last week we talked about Jurassic Park. When that first movie came out, you watched this movie and there was toys everywhere. It's the same feeling. You watch a movie and you're like, I love this space movie. If they had come out with Last Starfighter toys when I was a kid or had like a video game just like the regular gun, I would have bought into it.
That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying you don't get the Buzz that he buys until the end of the film, and he doesn't even do anything. You get this kind of like more down to earth, watered down Buzz with no lasers and flight packs and all this stuff.
Think about the Saturday morning cartoons that you would watch. How many thousands of commercials that were inundating you? There was no chance you weren't gonna fucking buy those toys. You know what I mean?
Yeah. No,
So I could see why Andy would have gravitated toward that.
You're arguing semantics. I'm just saying, like, I would want the more watered down version of Buzz as an action figure because I thought it was cooler than his Space Ranger stuff.
Yeah, but this moron had a cowboy. Like,
what he was cool.
It was okay.
Okay. So are you shitting on Toy Story?
I'm kidding.
No, I don't know much.
Toy Story.
I don't know much about the backstory and the making of this movie, and I've seen some stuff kind of pop up lately about them not casting Tim Allen.
Who cares?
So I don't know if that's something that was he originally supposed to be the voice?
No,
he was just the voice of
or is it
Buzz
just
Lightyear
something
in the
that,
cartoon.
that
It was
they
how
just
to
kind of made up?
differentiate, I guess, because this was, like I said, this was the movie Andy went and saw that made him want the toy. The toy has a different voice than the actual, kind of like Obi-Wan, the cube that I have over there. That's not Ewan McGregor speaking into that cube.
No.
So, but it's the guy who did it in the cartoon.
Right.
So it's the same principle.
You put the crystal in that one. It's like, good day, mate.
That's hilarious. Well, it's
Wait a minute.
It's
That's
like all
not
the
Obi-Wan.
Well, it's like all the Toy Story actually like properties where you get the video games, you get all the toys and stuff like that, and the voice of Woody is actually not Tom Hanks; it's his brother. His brother sounds almost directly like him enough where Tom Hanks is like, "Oh yeah, you go get your money. You do me. Go right ahead. I don't have the time. I'm doing fucking Castaway 5." He's like, he's still
never done
stuck.
Castaway 2.
He's like, how the fuck am I still on this island? Fucking Wilson is like a whole bag full of volleyballs.
Maybe I'm just not explaining it well, but I think
I get what you're saying.
You have to see it to understand. I guess I don't know, man. Maybe you'll think something totally different. I just, not it. I didn't hate this movie. Like, I'll watch it a million times on Disney Plus, but it just it didn't feel as epic as as the trailers made it.
Well, and that's the thing. Like, these things, Disney has been doing a terrible job of initially grabbing you with these properties. Like Lightyear, the first couple trailers, I can care less about this movie. Like, there's nothing about that I cared about. I was like, oh, they made a fucking
It sounded like a great concept. I was like, I'll watch it.
I'll see. I thought the concept sounded horrible originally. When they announced it, I think it was like last year, and they're like, Chris Evans is doing the voice. I was like, why? Like, what are you doing? And then the last trailer that they released that we've been seeing in front of whatever we've been going to the movies for actually made it look fun and actually really interesting. And had I really not had like the best week, and I guarantee you I would have fallen asleep, and it wouldn't have been because of the movie. I would have been Scott. I would have just been nodding off. I really am actually kind of sad that I didn't get to go with you. I'll take my fucking kids, I guess. But it's getting pretty good reviews. It's it looks more fun than I originally thought. I think Taika Waititi was bought out by Disney, and
he just does the voice of one character.
I know.
He's
in everything.
The point of the story is like everyone makes mistakes, and you got to learn from your mistakes. And that's fine. I get that. It's fine. It's just you promised me this like incredibly epic thing, and it's more of like, meh. It's you think it's going to be a giant firework, and instead it just kind of
So this is a movie within the Toy Story world.
Yeah, so it's a movie that got Andy to get the truth.
Andy watched to make him want a Buzz Lightyear for his birthday.
Because the way I'd kind of seen, I've only just seen the trailers, and it just looked like it was like, okay, we're going to get this is the live action version. If this is the Buzz Lightyear character, but it makes more sense that it's a movie. That it's a movie within a movie.
Pretty much, yeah.
Kind of.
Yeah.
Like they don't acknowledge the
right.
toys. Okay. All right. So, with that said, it looks like we have Marc McCloud from Orbit DVD joining us on the program. How are you doing today, Marc?
I'm doing well. East Coast, West Coast. That means I'm about 4 beers ahead of you guys.
I know. I literally told them like, oh, we're gonna wake up early to talk to him because this is a once in a lifetime thing. So yeah, I set my alarm, got my. I'm drinking coffee. You're drinking beer. That's just how it. That's how it has to be right
I'm way
now.
past the coffee stage at this point. Yeah. Gone to the alcohol.
Perfect.
I'm not against drinking this early. I just haven't gotten around to it.
So I know a lot of probably the same people I appeal to heard you on Chasing Labels and the Disconnected, but we kind of try and push out to like the everyman, like the everyman who wants to watch movies and stuff like that. So I'm going to ask you how you got started. That'll be my first question, and I know you've answered that before, but I just want to give everybody some backstory who might not have heard.
Oh, sure. Yeah, of course. Well, Orbit started about 20 years ago, believe it or not. It was a video rental store. We were renting movies. At that point, I think physical sales were reaching their peak. Like DVD sales were just, blowing it out the door and stuff like that. So we opened up, and of course, then Netflix really sort of took over like a year after that. We still were doing fine, but about maybe 10 years after that, I realized that, this video rental business thing is not really the best future for us. So I just started changing the store around a little bit, and we started bringing movies in for sale. We always sort of sold them anyway, but it's just sort of like either we sold the rental copies off the shelf to people, or it's like, okay, I really like the Sinful Dwarf on the shelf for sale, so I'm going to make this available for people. And just sort of grew until, well, for everybody, everything changed a couple of years ago, of course, and our state shut down, I guess, the week of St. Patrick's Day. And I said, well, I got a store full of crap. What would I do with it? I was like, well, okay, I have a rickety old website I just used to, tell boomers how to get here. And so it's like, let me figure out how to sell stuff. So that's kind of how the beginning of the online business started. And honestly, it's been, almost like a rocket trip to the moon. Right. After that, it's been overwhelming. The response from you guys and just, the community and things like that. So that's the long and short of it, basically. We have been around for a long time, but we've been very insular in a tourist town in Western North Carolina for a long time. And now we're worldwide, I guess.
That's incredible. I mean, I personally, if you were in the room that I'm in right now, it's lined with nothing but Orbit. I used to have boxes of just Orbit DVD stuff that I hadn't gone through yet because I order twice a week. I'll go back and I will, I'll keep ordering stuff. I'll find some stuff and then I'll order it, and then I'll find some more stuff later that day and order it. I check when I wake up at 9 a.m. The first thing I do is I roll over, grab my phone, and I check to see what you guys have put up on the shelf. What do you think it is about physical media that draws people, when they have all this digital stuff at their fingertips?
Yeah, I think there's a variety of factors here. I think that maybe, I think the rug was pulled out from physical media sales by the major studios, perhaps too prematurely. I think maybe, they're like going, well, we don't really want to support this anymore. And, we're going to still dump, say, Spider-Man on the marketplace, but we're not really going to make an effort to put these movies on the racks in stores and things like that. So I think the business model switched from, like being everywhere, like you get movies at Walgreens or whatever. and then, like moving more to just a few online retailers out there, namely Amazon.
I was just gonna say I can't get the Sinful Dwarf at Walgreens.
You're just at the wrong. You're at the wrong Walgreens, man.
Right? Yeah, we're West Coast. Nothing comes out this way. Yeah, because
you should try the Dayton, Ohio Walgreens.
Right. Exactly. Yeah. See, I grew up where you could get when VHS started to blow up, you could like you said, where Walgreens would have it, and they'd always have that Turner rack. Like it's almost like the comic book rack that they used to have. That you turn and look at everything, but it was full of DVDs. And one of my earliest memories was when Batman '89 came out on tape. I wanted that for Christmas. I started early collecting as much physical media as possible. And I tend to, I'm not like Aaron. I don't have as much disposable income to just go to your site every 3-4 hours. But, I do find myself finding a lot of the things that you don't find readily available at a store. You can't walk into a Blockbuster and find a lot of not a Blockbuster. God, I wish I could.
That was one left.
A Best Buy and find a lot of this stuff. Do you think that mainly it's the collector's mentality that's kind of helping keep physical media going? Because like for me, like I'll collect a movie and then I'll put it away, and then if I want to watch it, I'll find it on streaming because I'm too lazy to get up. But I know I collected it. Like I've got it now, and it's sitting on my shelf, and I can see it collecting dust. But then I, you know, unless I want to watch the special features, I'll go to streaming. So I'm kind of like that hybrid collector versus Aaron insulating his house with everything from Orbit and Severin and all these movies. So is
Orbit
it,
bunker. I had to see a photo of this.
I'll snap a few. Trust me.
I think I
think there's a couple of factors as far as the physical media collecting. I was going to get to that when I was commenting earlier, but the dopamine effect I think is in full effect with these things. Like when like I guess the most recent example would be this really nasty, gnarly Swedish exploitation film that just came out a couple weeks ago called Thriller or Cruel Picture, or They Call Her One Eye.
Yes.
Vinner Syndrome put this out. So anyway, there's a big box, whatever, and they sold out. So like they sold out, and everybody's like losing their minds.
I turned my head in Aaron's room. I'm looking at it right now. I'm not even kidding. And
movie of the week. Movie of the week. Sure.
Yep, exactly.
But anyway, it's like, it's that it's like, how do I get this? How do I get this? And of course, like about a couple weeks after this sale that Vinegar Syndrome had, Diabolic got it, Grindhouse got it, we got it. So like that market was satiated to the point, but then like you're starting to see, it's maybe the fact that like it's the dopamine with also the fact that like going, I have something that maybe is worth something, and that might have something to do with it as well. But also, I have a theory that's also, sort of tied with the pandemic, which is, I think people miss having stuff on their shelves. We were going smaller for so many years. I guess starting with the iPod. Like going you can get rid of your CDs, get rid of your records, and all your music could be on this little thing. And people were or books. It's like, why do you need bookshelves upon bookshelves when you got the e-readers and whatnot? So the same thing was happening with movies, probably a little bit later. And of course now basically it goes in progressions of like data width. So right. Like movies, and of course the next thing now is games. So video games. So like it's like, hey, you can stream video games all the time, which is of course not true. But like anyway, like so anyway, I think during the pandemic people were stuck in their homes. Imagine being like a single computer programmer in Topeka, Kansas. You got like probably a 2,000 or 3,000 square foot house. You're making good money, and you're looking around, and your house is empty. There's nothing in there but like your gaming system and a couple chairs and things like that. And like going, I'm going to start collecting again. And I think that's a lot of this kicked up. We started seeing the progression of people buying more before the pandemic, but of course it really accelerated when that happened a couple years ago.
Right. Well, and for me, like personally, like I started noticing this thing, like everything started going to digital, and it's like I like the convenience of the digital, but then you lose that tangibility. And what I'm seeing, like especially like when you're posting things that you guys are selling, like the lenticular covers, I'm like, oh, that is really cool. That is neat. And like I used to work at Blockbuster myself, so and Aaron, we're all into movies, and I always missed stocking shelves and seeing what cool covers were coming out. And I remember some of the low budget horror movies sometimes would have like real kitschy covers to draw people in, and I think we lose that because you could sit there for hours on Netflix, flipping through, and you're never going to find anything you want because nothing's selling you on that movie. Whereas you've got something tangible, you hold, you read it, you're, with an album, you're looking at the liner notes, you're looking at all this stuff. I got mad when video games started not putting manuals in them. And I'm like, why are you taking things from me that I could be experiencing? And I think for me, that's what the physical media is, that what I like is that, it provides something tangible, something cool. It's a talking piece. Like it's I'm looking at 5 copies of True Romance from Aaron's.
I only bought one from you
You
guys.
got all 5. Great.
I did last year. I got the. So actually, funny story, as I didn't know about Orbit DVD until somebody in a Facebook group said something, and I started checking you guys out. And I am not going to trash anyone else. When it comes to Orbit, I think you guys are the best, and I know a lot of people are like, "Well, Diabolic's awesome," and I love those guys. And but Orbit will ship out the same day. They will tell me if it has a slip cover or what it is, and they'll even tell me if it's damaged. Like I just bought Manic Monday, and you guys messaged me, "Hey, it's kind of messed up in the corner." I was like, I don't care. That doesn't bother me. And I just think that level of customer service is just next level, and I appreciate it. And honestly, this review is more as a fan than anything else, but I think people need to know that there's still places out there that you can get excellent customer service and physical media, and you don't have to pay the eBay prices or worry about the FOMO because you guys have it. Like I thought the way you guys handled like the Thriller stuff, all the Vinegar Syndrome stuff was incredible. I thought that was just awesome. And I saw a lot of people in the Vinegar Syndrome Facebook group like, "Hey, just got my copy from Orbit DVD. Took 2 days." I ordered Red Surf from you guys and the Bees because I wasn't able to grab them at the time, and it was here in 2 days, and I just picked the media mail shipping. So I think it's something to be said about that level of customer service that is just it's out of this world. Like I can't say enough nice things about it. So have you always been dedicated to that type of customer service? Is that what you wanted when you started selling things at Orbit, or is that just how you've always been?
Yeah, I mean, yeah. A lot of this has been beat into me during for working for corporate stores, and then also as a third-party seller on Amazon. And things like that. It's like, I saw the direct effects of the benefits of this working in your benefit to, I want our tagline to be, Orbit, we're as anal as you are, for one thing.
Oh, you've listened to our show.
But, it's like Amazon, I've been selling third party on Amazon for probably about 12 years now. It's like if you don't ship within 2 days, if you don't process a return within 1 day, if you don't answer an email in 1 day, you're done. It's like they cut you off. You're out of there. So that just became standard for me. It's not a big deal. You come in with a coffee or whiskey and start answering. You start off with answering the emails, and then you start shipping the product. And it's like that. It's not that hard to get into that routine. And so Amazon really helped me there. Now then, the face-to-face, I've been doing retail for probably about 30 years. First started in record stores. I worked at a sort of a poor man's Suncoast. That was in the Southeast. And then I was a manager at Blockbuster. That's my last, I guess, real job before this. But it was, basically I said, okay, a lot of what you're telling me is I don't know if I can cuss on this thing or not.
Do it.
Yeah, whatever you want.
Free
bullshit,
game.
It's like this is absolute bullshit, but I get what you're saying about this point and this point, and I'm going to apply that in how I deal with the customer across the counter. And I've always done that. It's like, I want to make people happy. I want to help people find stuff. I don't care if it's even from me. It's like, let's help you find your movie. That's basically what's been boiled down to. And, in the case of shipping, it's like going, I just don't like things sitting around.
Right.
Like, we don't have a lot of room. We're a store. We're like, people think we're a warehouse. We're a store. Like you walk in, you can shop. And, that stuff can pile up. So we want that out the door.
Right.
And so for me, it's like going, once it's out the door, it's over, for us. And it's not over, of course, but, it's like our transaction is over when we ship it. And I can't for the life of me understand why, people, and this is mainly eBay sellers. I know, everybody else that does this that I know personally, say Diabolic and Grindhouse, it's like they ship fast too. So it's like, we're all shipping fast. So it's like, it's not like we're sitting on anything for a few days. We're like an eBay shipper. It might take you a month, to get a tracking notification, sometimes.
Well, I mean, you almost have to. Amazon's kind of... Well, Amazon's kind of like spoiled people, where it's like, oh, I can order it, and I'm going to have it in 2 days. If you can't catch up, you're right. People have a very short memory, and if you don't catch them at the right time, then they're just gonna be like, not like, as much as I hate bringing up other people, like I got burned by Zavvi a couple times where like now I just won't shop with him, and then I've gotten a lot of shit from Aaron saying, why the hell didn't you just fucking order it from Orbit? I'm like, I'm sorry, I'm an idiot.
I really do. I'm not kidding.
He gets mad.
Mark, I shout from the rooftops about Orbit. He's like, I need this. I'm like, go to Orbit.
Go to Orbit.
I refuse to shop Amazon anymore. You guys make it too convenient for me. You got the PayPal right there. It's all hooked up. I spend my entire mortgage payment in Orbit during the month.
And that's the real fight we have. I went and visited Mike at Grindhouse. He actually moved 2 hours away from our store. He lives in Knoxville, Tennessee now. So Knoxville and Asheville are literally about 100 miles apart from each other. So I had to go by and check him out and talk to him. Nice guy. We spent 4 hours hanging out basically, and we both agree. And I'm sure Jesse from Diabolic agrees here too. It's like the fight isn't between all of us. It's between us and these corporations. And I'll call Zavvi a corporation.
Please
but like you add all this together and multiply that times 10, that does not equal what Amazon's selling the Aero product for or whatever, So
Right.
I agree.
it's like the more customer service things we can do that can pull people away from Amazon, the better I think everybody is.
I agree.
Honestly, because I just get sick seeing another damaged picture of something that's just got smashed because it was just thrown either in a box with no stuffing in it, or just a padded envelope that just gets absolutely crushed.
Yeah,
And,
I've definitely gotten
it's
that empty Amazon box where it's just something in it, and you like shake it, and you're like, dunk, dunk, dunk. I'm like, please put one of your little your little pillowcase full of air in there, please, dear God. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like when you hear it rattling in there, then you hear something rattling in that. It's like, oh, that's not good.
My disc is now smashed and no longer works. So, and then I just wanted to get into a little bit. Another thing I love about you guys, which it's all love. You get so much stuff from like Germany. You have these relationships with these distributors outside the United States, and it seems to be very lucrative. I know, like I grab a lot of German stuff whenever it pops up on the site because I have a region-free player, so I can watch anything. How do you go about like getting in touch? I mean, I don't need all your secrets or anything or who but how do you go about like making those types of relationships with these people? Because I see it from you guys more than anybody else, and I'm super impressed because the way I get it, a UK film takes forever. Like with Drive, Second Sight just came out with that Drive. It took me forever. You guys had it on the site within the week that they said that they were going to have it up there, and it's not that I don't trust you guys. I ordered it from Second Sight the second it went on.
Oh no,
on sale.
And trust me, the preferred method is to buy it directly from the distributor.
Right.
They make the most money, or the company. Whoever's putting it out. They make the most money that way. Everybody gets paid the best. So I have no problems with like the Shout exclusives and all that stuff either. But like, because that truly is the best way to do it. Now, as far as finding these people, it's been a combination of them reaching out to us, and us having to hunt them down. Domestic ones have been fairly easy. Basically, this involves you talking to one of these companies. Say, like, it's actually I emailed Grindhouse Video, not Mike at Grindhouse Video, but the people that are putting out Campbell Holocaust and pieces and stuff.
Right.
And they gave me a distributor name. Vinegar Syndrome was the first company actually to reach out to us. They said, hey, you want to order? Maybe I asked them a question, I forgot. They go, hey, you want to order direct from us? I'm like going, yes, sure. So, and that was how long ago was that?
That's got to feel good.
Yeah, no, it's great. It's great. Yeah. And like, in those days we've grown together in a way. Cause like I would just email them a list of what I wanted and then they just sent it to me. Now it's all official with a website for wholesalers and things like that. So that shows me that this is growing, like they had to up their game as well as we did. The UK product, I think maybe our main UK distributor reached out to us. I don't know why, because this was before we had the website. I don't know how they found us or whatever, But they solicited us, and they've been great. Like they've been awesome. But we've also found we ordered direct from 88 Films.
Okay.
They've been great. Now some of these companies we really want to order direct from, they go, we don't do that.
Of course.
Eureka. But anyway,
I buy all my Eureka from you guys.
There's people that won't even answer my and granted, I have no idea what's going on at Kino, but Kino is absolutely one of our favorite companies.
Right.
But they won't return a phone call. I don't know what's going on there. But every year I'm like going, well, it's time for my yearly try to contact. We actually had someone in the store from Kino about a month ago. They go, this is great. They're going to be calling you next week. And it's like, yeah, sure. Sure enough, we're still waiting. But I don't hold anybody against anything. But
right.
now the German product was interesting because there's dozens of companies in Germany and Austria, and I'm like going, I think it's maybe started with Turbine, and I'm like going, and they always answered the same. I said, do you sell direct, or can you direct me to somebody who can that sells your product? Every answer was no. I'm like,
my goodness.
Okay, that's fine. That was years. That about 2 or 3 years. So we finally hit a company that said, you need to talk to this guy, and that guy's been great. Like he's been awesome. So it's like just it's basically just contacting everybody and just talking to them. And at this point now, like you say, hey, you go to our website and see what we're selling. We're carrying your product, or we want to carry your product, and it's sort of a snowball effect, I guess, at this point.
Well, I mean, even you go to your Instagram, and then every day there's just a new stack. I mean, Aaron's the same way, but there's just a new stack of things that are releasing, and it's like I'm glad to see it, honestly, and I'm finding myself enjoying watching you just sitting in your office, kind of just doing your thing for a minute.
It's my favorite part of the week.
It's really fun. It's kind of weird and kitschy, but I enjoy that kind of stuff because you've built this community within your guys', everything. Where it's I'm watching you go to Living Dead weekends and you're running into Severin with their setup, and it kind of leads me into do you find when you do these conventions and you're setting up to sell, is that as lucrative as it ends up being, or is it more of you wanting just to get in there just so you can be at the convention to do your thing while also trying to make it a business venture?
Well, it's always nice making money to come home with,
right.
But the ultimate goal is to sell the website. That's the only reason why we've been going to these things, and to meet people face to face. And I like the face to face contact, which we do have in the store. Like we got people driving from all over to come shop with us, and that's just an extension of that. But if I'm in Pittsburgh or I was in Knoxville last month, I want people going, hey, you can shop with us anytime you want. Just get on our website. There you go.
Right.
And that's really the main reason. This is only the Living Dead the weekend is only the second horror convention I've ever attended. I had maybe this sort of preconceived notion of what these things are, which is I'm not much of an autograph person. I'm not much of a photograph person. So it's like going, okay, you pay $10, $50, $100, meet your idols, tell them how much they mean to you, which is great, and whatever, and it's a great way for some of these older actors to still make some money,
right,
for the work they've done. But that's not me. I'm not that type of person. So I've never been to one. I never even attended a horror convention until the one last month. That one had Joe Bob and Darcy.
Oh, nice.
And some other pretty big people out there as well. So and it was packed. We got mobbed at that one,
right,
in Knoxville. And so okay, so I sort of got the bug with that because mainly it was someone that I know that works for Vinegar Syndrome. He was here, and he told me, he goes, Mark, he said you should set up at a convention. He goes, yes, Severin will be there. Yes, Vinegar Syndrome will be there, depending on which one you go to, whatever. But no one's doing what you're doing. And that's it. It's like people are selling used product or this, that, and the other, but I'm the only person selling new product. I'm the only person selling imports. I'm the only person selling this and that. So
right,
that's awesome.
People get excited. Like in the case of Living Dead weekend, I was the only person. The only way to get Dawn of the Dead is the second site release right now officially. So I had those there.
Oh wow.
And then I had the Arrow 4K of Candyman because Tony Todd was there. So
right.
I sold out of all those.
That's awesome.
Because I know that it's something unique that these people have not seen, or they may not be aware of the Arrow UK 4K.
Right.
PKs in these areas, but they never seen it before. So I'm sitting there with it live, and they were able to hold it and touch it. They could buy it for him to sign. So, the convention thing is something that we of course, like every other business, like we're having to learn, and we've made mistakes. Like it's been me and my wife mainly doing these things, and we carried stuff in crate by crate to this one. So we need better methods here.
I just get yourself like one of those little like radio flyer wagons. We just carry it.
Or
full of DVDs
in a car. Yeah. The main thing I learned is I can't eat biscuits and gravy 4 days in a row.
You can. It'll hurt you.
That's so funny because my wife just made biscuits and gravy.
Oh, very nice. Very nice.
No, it's
hey,
funny.
once a month's fine.
It's funny because I'm so happy to hear that, because I literally, in these like home boutique stuff on Facebook and even Instagram to some effect, I will promote the hell out of you guys, and I'll say like, oh, you can't find the second site, Dawn of the Dead, go to Orbit DVD. If anything, you can put in a back in stock notification, because sometimes they get that stuff in, and I will get messages of people being like, hey, don't talk about Orbit DVD. That's like my secret spot that no one knows about. And I'm like, I want these guys to be in business for as long as they can. So please go there and buy everything. Like I don't want to keep it a secret. I want everyone to know, because I need you guys to stay in business. Otherwise, I'm screwed. So I love.
See that happened. That happened early on with us, because with the online businesses, people did not want other people to know.
Right.
So we're finding was it's like a secret, and like going, well. But what people do need to know, and I'm telling you, is that the more we grow, the more we're buying. So we're not. In the case of the product we bought in the past week, with the exception of Thriller, we have basically doubled or tripled what we normally would have bought a year ago.
Right.
So we're just buying more and more and more, and then we're going to start pre-orders here pretty soon when we get some website integration with our in-store point of sale system. So once that happens, we'll get even more. So feel free to tell everybody, but it's please.
I was actually going to make a joke and ask you about the pre-orders at the end of this, because everything that I have heard you do, they ask about pre-orders, and I'm like, I know the answer to this. I know he hates talking about it.
He's like, watch this. I'm going to make him real mad at the end of this. That's funny. Yeah, because like I was looking at your Instagram, and honestly, I was watching. I checked out your setup over at Living Dead Weekend, and I saw a movie on there that I remember seeing a while back. And for some reason, I thought I made this movie up. Like no one had ever heard of it. I'm freaking out, going, I can't find it anymore. And then I saw it on your table, and I'm like, I'm right. That movie it was called Dead Girl. It was from like 2006, 2008.
Oh, fantastic film.
It's crazy, and honestly, I saw it, caught it like late one night sometime a couple of years back, and for the life of me, I thought I was making it up, like legit. And then I see it on your table, I'm like, vindication. And then now I got to go buy it.
I was just gonna say,
no, I'm going. Yeah, I'm gonna. Yeah, I saw it late last night. I'm like, that is real. I love that movie. It's so messed up, and it's such a good thing. And and that's what I like about, your guys' the way you guys approach what you get. And you're not just saying, hey, look, I'm putting out Spider-Man No Way Home. You guys are getting the things that I grew up watching or wanted to watch or experience. And, I'm into the horror. Scott was into the horror movies in the 80s and things like that. And so you're seeing that resurgence of some of that stuff that's getting remastered and put out. And the fact that you guys are getting that, and especially when you're getting it in bulk, and it makes it accessible. I love it. I absolutely love that.
Yeah, and this basically just follows the trail that I set with my video store. I had I deal with breadth instead of depth. So, I'd rather have 100 different titles of a movie than 100 copies of one movie.
Right.
Even though the 100 copies of the one movie will probably sell out a lot faster than the 100 copies of the different movies. I want people to browse. I want people to spend hours on that site just looking around, and because that's what happens. That's what happened in the video rental stores. Like people would spend hours in there just looking at everything. So, and that's just our tastes are broad. I have a broad taste of movies out there. My favorites are not really the most popular films out there. So,
right.
I want to make sure that I'm represented. Like the employees are represented, and and of course everybody else is getting what they want too. So
yeah, I was the same way working at Blockbuster, where it's like, the new release wall is nice, but if you want something good, you go to that middle of the store. Like,
Right.
go
Yeah.
to the unseen section. And really dig deep, and I loved being able to talk to customers about that kind of stuff, and I miss that face-to-face. Like, we don't have that kind of stuff. I can't walk into a Best Buy and say, what do you suggest? And then they're going to bring me to what just came out. I'm like, get away from me, blue shirt. I just, you don't get that anymore, and that's
have
why,
you seen
like,
Morbius?
right, it's Morbin time. No. But, you're, with a brick and mortar, I'm honestly, we want to come out there. Like, I really would love to come out there, and I want to check out the place.
Bucket list.
Well, I mean, like part of my goal also is like to show that, hey, this is not me. It's like there could be other places like me around the country,
Right.
And we're starting to see them pop up. I've helped out. There's a place in Chicago called Bric-a-Brac Records. They're starting to carry physical media. You can find a lot of stuff like in record stores or comic book shops or whatever. A Grindhouse in Knoxville, his store, I'm jealous, is bigger than mine, and just it's packed. But you can shop there, so it's like it's a physical store for physical media. So I think that if this trend continues, which it seems like it's going to, at least for a long time, that you'll see more places open up around the country that deal, that it's just not a shelf of this stuff. The focus is movies for sale, and I'm hoping that.
But until then, go to Orbit DVD in Asheville.
Yes,
Yeah,
orbitdvd.com.
that's correct. Yeah.
So we're
We're
gonna
actually calling this. I'm calling this a horror highway, actually, because like in a day's time, you could hit me up in Asheville, drive to Knoxville, go to Grindhouse, and then I grew up near Knoxville in a town called Maryville, Tennessee, and it's a place called the Dungeon that my friends opened up.
Ooh,
And that's also he had Evil Town there for like 2 years after it went out of print.
I bought
The
Evil
slipcover.
Town
So-
from you,
Yeah. So it was like it's like
and I still haven't opened it.
He has stuff, and he also has the best VHS haul I've ever seen. That he
Oh,
just
that's
bought that this
awesome.
year. So yeah, so these are 3 physical stores, literally within a day of each other. So it's easy to do, and hopefully other places will not come around, but open up or expand or whatever. But we'll see what happens.
Look, we literally had one of our hosts fly to Austin just to buy snacks for one of our shows. So
yeah.
trust me, we are more than okay flying out to just visit every physical media in that area.
There we go.
I get flight benefits through my wife because she works for Southwest Airlines. However, the only place in North Carolina is Raleigh, so it's about a 2.5 hour drive because I've looked it up. So I am planning like a summer trip out there, so I will definitely be seeing you soon. I just don't know how soon.
The Southwest, I don't know if they do Knoxville, or you can also do an hour away from us is Greenville, South Carolina, which I do know is a Southwest hub.
Oh, I was looking at the map. I was thinking, okay, so we could go into Atlanta and then go north, or we can head into Tennessee. Like, trust me, I've already mapped some of the other bigger cities instead of
And
Raleigh.
I do want a picture with you, Mark. I think you are.
Oh, sure.
I'm honestly, this is not. I like you are seriously my hero because when I moved into my new house and I started collecting physical, I'd been collecting physical for a while and using a lot of like Diabolic and stuff like that. Once I saw like how you guys operated, it was off to the races.
Every week we record, there's a new stack.
I'm not like honestly like it's you have grown my collection more than I could ever. Like my wife is mad. She's like, it's another Orbit DVD box, and I'm just like, sorry. So the deal with our podcast is we are all cinephiles except for Scott. He's kind of like the everyman. He just sees like the major studio stuff. And,
I'm the normie.
Yeah,
Make us sound good, monkey.
So he's tech savvy, so he can help us with the technical aspects like this interview. But the whole concept of our show is we watch movies we've never seen or might have been a blind spot for us. So I ask all of our guests before we let them go, what is a movie that you would personally recommend to everyone that maybe hasn't never been seen or something along those lines?
Have you seen
I mean, I guess it depends on how accessible you have. I mean, you obviously have an All Regions player. I don't know if anybody else does or not. But if you haven't seen it's a 1970 film called The Deep End. That's one of my favorite films.
Deep End. Okay.
The Deep End.
It's going on the list.
Oh, great. Yeah. It's it's hard to describe. It's about obsession, I guess, a teen obsession.
Oh, it's perfect for Aaron.
Yeah, of course. Yeah. It's like you've never heard of that before. However, there are some things that you probably would recognize. The lead actress is Jane Asher, who was Paul McCartney's girlfriend at some point. It's absolutely stunning in this movie. The soundtrack is a combination of Cat Stevens, a popular song of his, and also the krautrock band Can was in the soundtrack too. Yeah, so you'll recognize, if you're a fan of krautrock, you definitely recognize the songs from Can in there. But anyway, yeah, this is this bizarre little film. It definitely, it's got that. I love movies that are like late 60s, early 70s urban. So everything just looks gritty and dour, and just like this nasty a little bit. Like Dirty Harry, of course, is probably one of the best examples of that one. And he's walking through an alley and there's just trash blowing everywhere and shit.
Taxi driver.
Yeah.
But Deep End. I don't know if Deep End is actually Soho. It might be Soho, but it's definitely that time period where all that stuff's going on right then. And it's just to me, it's a fascinating film, and I love it to death.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much, Mark. Do you have anything, Jordan?
I'm going to say that, okay, so I know you're busy, you got a lot of things going on. I say at one point, if we decide we want to watch it, because obviously we've never seen it, if we decide to cover this movie, would you be willing to come back on and discuss it with us?
Oh, of course. Yeah.
All right.
Nice. Awesome. Well, it'll be a little bit. We have a couple theme months.
What are you doing next weekend?
No, we actually have a movie for next week. Well, thank you so much for coming on the show, Mark. We really appreciate you. We appreciate your shop. We appreciate everything you do. Thank you for keeping physical media alive. This is Marc McCloud from OrbitDVD.com. Go there to get all your physical releases, whatever you're looking for. And we really appreciate having you on the show, Mark. Thank you so much.
Thanks for inviting me. Yeah, it's been great.
All right, we'll let you go. Have a great rest of your day, man.
Thank you.
I appreciate it.
Bye-bye. All right, guys, thank you so much for listening. Please go check out Orbit DVD. Seriously. It is literally my favorite site on the planet.
It's insulating his room as we speak.
Not even
keeps our acoustics
joking.
down.
My wife will probably leave me one day because of Orbit DVD.
We're going to be in one of those situations like in The Simpsons where like Skinner goes missing and he's buried under like stacks and stacks of old newspapers. This is what he's going to be like putting stacks away, and his wife's going to find it like an arm hanging out of a stack.
The neighbors
of
are going to be like, we had this strange smell
coming
that came from the house. We haven't seen Aaron in over a month.
I just
like potato chips and DVD.
I just really want to thank Mark again for coming on. Thank you for slumming it on our podcast when he's been on things like the I can't remember what discography or something. I don't know. It's a very big podcast, and chasing labels and stuff like that. Just, like the people who matter know who he is, and he was nice enough to join us.
Yeah, and it just goes to support physical media, man.
Support physical media, support brick and mortar. Not everything needs to be bought off Amazon, and a lot of times you're going to get a better deal.
You got a guy out there grinding, putting stuff out that people want, and
shit, there's things that people don't want that show up that I'm like, I see the cover art, I'm like, I kind of do want that.
Right, that's how I feel every day when I check the site.
Those are the people you need to support, man. It's like those are, you're going to walk into his store and probably sit and have conversations that you're not going to have by clicking a button on the internet.
Oh yeah, for sure.
It's like going into the video store when you were a kid and talking to the video people and them recommending movies to you and saying, "Hey,
I was that guy." And I had people come up and like, "Hey, what do you recommend?" And it's like it's your time to shine and really direct them to something.
It's Brucey's time to shine.
Yeah, it's definitely like a moment where you can direct them in a place that they normally wouldn't have gone. Instead of, hey, don't go to the fucking new release wall. Fuck that shit. You're just going to watch the dumbest shit in the world. It's
Jordan's
all
like, have I got a movie for you?
Do you
Wizards.
want... Yeah. I've seen it now. But you know what I mean? Like, he's that guy. Like, he's the guy that you could sit there and probably talk to for an hour.
Absolutely.
And just get into some of the grindhouse shit, the roads less traveled as far as media goes. And it's all there. And it's... Some of it's being remastered and being put out in 4K, and eventually we're gonna lose things to time, and they're not gonna be put on digital, and you're never gonna find a physical release, and that's sad. So that's why you gotta support this kind of shit, because that's where we're gonna see the things that inspired a lot of the stuff we all watch.
And if you have FOMO, like hardcore FOMO, then Orbit is the place for you because you're going to find it there, and it's going to be the last copy, and you're going to buy it, and you're going to see the little sold out for now, and you're just going to
be
like,
happy.
Yes, like I did with Tammy and T-Rex just a week ago. Anyways,
fucking
all right, let's get into Scott's movie and finish out this week. Scott, what did we watch this week?
We are finally finishing out the animation weeks, man. We are from 2000.
Lord have mercy.
Yeah, from 2015, directed by Charles Kaufman. Anomalisa.
Sorry.
What is it to be human? What is it to ache? What is it to be alive? Each person you speak to has had a day. Some of the days have been good, some bad. Each person you speak to has had a childhood. Each has a body. Each body has aches. Look for what is special about each individual. Focus on that. Remember, there is someone out there for everyone. I think you're extraordinary.
Why?
I don't know yet. It's just obvious to me that you are. Our time is limited, we forget that.
Sorry, I grabbed your hand.
It's okay.
It's a reflex. But I don't like to fly.
I said it's okay. You can let go now, though.
That was my
First of all, I don't think anyone has ever called him Charles except maybe a teacher in elementary school.
Charlie?
Charles
Kaufman, get in here right now and eat your broccoli.
Old Chuck K wrote this.
It just sounds so much more professional.
You really threw me off. I'm sorry. I don't think I've ever heard him referred to as Charles
Kaufman.
Chuck. Old Chuck Kaufman.
Good old Chuck Kaufman.
Old Chucky K.
Well, dude, let me tell you.
Fuck both of you, by the way.
This
at least I
movie
tried to do something a little mainstream animation. What the hell did I watch when it comes to you two? Like, first off, I get another weird war epic from Jordan that's all political, and then I get the weirdest fucking movie on the planet.
Did we not watch a movie that had like tentacles and
Yeah.
like weird fucking puppets?
However,
and
inspired Inception. What did your movie inspire?
dude, I'm sure that this is because I
Fucking
mean, there's a lot of people with their hands in this pot
stop
that
animation
inspired a lot of
porn.
shit, man.
How
Dude,
long did that guy go down
That
on
was
that
so
chick?
fucking weird,
Felt
man.
like forever.
So I have to say that visually, this is a very stunning movie to watch. With the stop, I love stop animation. Stop animation is not something that gets done a lot. You have Nightmare Before Christmas, and you have what? Maybe James and the Giant Peach.
Corpse Bride, James and the Giant Peach.
Yeah, things along that. Like, dude, there's a very, very small bucket of
Monster
stop
House.
animation.
I can name like 10. He's way off. No, I'm just kidding.
But you know, I mean, it's not something that people do
Paranorman.
anymore. You know, it's everything is CGI'd, everything is animated.
I'm just gonna, every now and then I'm just going to start naming all the more mainstream stuff.
You know what I'm trying to say. It's just one of those things. But it's a super creepy movie. You know, I mean, it's like it just kind of it's
definitely
very weird.
off-putting.
Yeah, it's very weird.
It's almost got this weird glow to it. Like, it starts off with him in the airplane, and there's almost like this weird sheen to it, and it looks real for a half a second, and then you realize it's very stylized and stop animation, and then but it's not stop animation in the sense that it's janky, because like there's some stop animation where you feel like they're like, fuck it, we don't want to bend it 80,000 more times for this next shot, let's just fucking roll with it.
Yeah.
And it's like, slow. This is very smooth.
Well, that's kind of how Nightmare Before Christmas is.
Yes.
Nightmare Before Christmas is not super fluent, but I love it. I love watching the behind the scenes. I love watching how it was made. And I actually watched a thing on how this was made, and you see.
Oh, you did the deep dive.
I just happened to be kind of looking at some videos because I was like, what the fuck did I just watch? So I'm like, I've got to figure out what the fuck this movie's about. So I'm watching it, and there's like a little like 5-minute like how it was made, and it was just showing the different pieces, and it was showing them like, you know, positioning the figures on the sets, and you get this like, they have these weird like line breaks in their eyes, and like it looks like they've got like these mannequin masks on, but that was part of. So if you look at if you watch the how it's made, they were switching those little pieces out, and each mouth had like a different movement.
Right.
So they would switch the mouths out, they would switch the eyes out, and those you could still see the lines where it was all like put together and connected.
Yeah, I saw that originally, and I'm like, wait a minute, and I had to really look at it for a minute, and then I was like, okay, so they're not even gonna like hide the fact that this is a puppet. We're just supposed to just ignore, like, just be with it. And later on, that plays a part in like that weird dream sequence the main character has, where he hits like the side of the wall when he's running around a corner, and half his fucking face falls off.
Yeah, but he notices it, and he
like
kind of wigs out about it. And I mean, in this movie, I mean, you sit there and you're like, okay, I'm watching stop animation. Well, then you just get full frontal, and it is the most off. Like, you are so thrown off to see this in this type of a movie.
I don't think I've ever
At
seen
least I was, anyways.
Stop animation dick.
Yeah, he comes out of the shower and he's just flopping around the room, and I'm like, Aaron's like, really, dude, really?
He even texts me. He goes, "I hope you love animated dick." And I'm like, "Yes, I do."
You know, and it's like, and I'm like, okay, they're trying to make this as real and as close to like an actual movie as possible.
They should have made a movie.
Honestly,
no reason for this.
Honestly, I think this would have been better to be like a short, like one of those short movies, maybe 25, 30 minutes,
like a short film category. For
yeah, like I could see it more like along that line.
Did you know that it was based on a play? No, I'm sorry, he wrote the play afterwards, I think. And his name was Francis Fergoli, so I guess your theory about the hotel, because they're saying that's why it was named the Fergoli Hotel.
Well,
yeah. You said it should have been
like a short film.
A short film. It was crowdfunded through Kickstarter. In early development, the film was planned to be a short film, about 40 minutes in length.
So do we get a list of those people so we can blame them?
You know, this
Just
film,
imagine like our podcast is just us naming everybody that funded this and be like, this is your fault.
This film cost $8 million to make.
And it was crowdfunded.
Yes.
Made entirely of Play-Doh.
You know how much it made total in all the showings?
Probably nothing.
It was like just under $5 million.
I'm not gonna lie. I have heard of this because because of the Oscars and shit. Because I know it was nominated. I don't know anywhere that it ever played. Like, I couldn't name even a local theater that ever carried this.
Yeah, I never saw any.
Maybe in Scottsdale somewhere.
Probably like Camel View.
Yeah.
Absolutely no.
On Mill or
what's it called? Promotion or anything. So they probably didn't spend anything on promotion.
Oh yeah, they're like, no one's gonna see this.
No,
it's gonna be a word of mouth thing.
Yeah, this is. I mean, I guess the one thing that this movie, you actually are a little bit invested in the characters of this movie. They
right,
do
it's the same
actually.
Character.
Well, yeah. So this guy is like he's a customer service sales rep, and everybody that he meets all has the same voice. They've all got the same face. Mm-hmm. They've all got it. Everything is exactly the same. And this goes back to that Fergoli syndrome where you see everybody as the same person. So as I kind of look into that stuff, it makes sense. And maybe if I would have looked at that stuff before I watched the movie, I would have maybe taken some of that and it would have explained a little bit more.
I didn't notice it at first. So like they're on the plane, he does his thing, and he gets to the hotel. He's talking to the cabbie on the way there, which is kind of funny.
Gotta try the chili.
English, huh? Go shrimp on the Barbie. I'm like, you're fucking moron. Oh yeah, no. Here's my notes, and I'm gonna say that. Fuck Cincinnati chili. They promoted that twice. I've had it. Fuck you, Cincinnati. If you're listening, hey, Cincinnati, your chili sucks. I was so upset about it.
We have to go to Cincinnati and try the chili.
No, fuck Skyline chili. I had a layover in there. I had Skyline chili
from the airport.
Yeah, it's the same fucking shit.
No, you got to get it fresh.
fresh
from the
where?
cow's udder.
Hey, get the fresh chili.
Fucking chili animal. You're just like udders and shit.
One of the backers for this movie was B.J. Novak. So
Fuck you, BJ.
I'm sure he threw down
Actually,
a
it's
couple
fun.
mil.
It's
are
funny
we
because
going to start doxing these guys that back this movie?
B.J. Novak was in The Office. He plays
Yeah.
Ryan the temp.
he
so.
actually, it's funny. He actually wrote a kid's book. It's called The Book with No Pictures. I read it every night to my kids. They love it. So BJ, good job on that. Fuck this movie. But yeah, no, it's. I didn't notice it at first, and then he gets to where he's meeting somebody, and then all of a sudden I start really noticing everyone looks the same. Like not, and then
you
the
notice
voice
that?
is the same. And this goes to something that I think is a bigger star of this movie is Tom Noonan. Did all the voices
Right.
of everybody but Jennifer Jason Leigh's character and him.
Yes,
And that's it.
Michael Stone.
And I'm sitting there going, that's amazing. Because like the amount of dialogue he had to have recorded it's triple, maybe quadruple of anybody else in this movie because he's got every other character to do. And it's like you don't notice it first, and then you start to realize even his wife, even the kid that's on the phone, all the customer service people, everybody is the same.
He doesn't really do that. I mean, he doesn't interact with that many people.
But still, like to do every character in this movie except for two, is pretty impressive. And then it's like, wait, we had another Tom Noonan movie. He was in House of the Devil. So it's like we're starting to find character actors that are in things that I think are doing a lot of the heavy lifting, and it's pretty great.
That's
like,
the point of all this, isn't it? Doing
Yeah.
the show.
well, that's what I'm saying. Like, I'm just
Find the
saying.
connections between the.
Well, yeah, and I think that's
and the
great. Like,
reasons.
I think he's phenomenal in this as far as just being able to play every character.
I mean, this wasn't like the story kind of kept me around for a while because when you started figuring out, okay, everybody's the same,
Yeah.
what's going on here? And then he meets these two women that he's trying to hook up with because he's like this, he's just a complete train wreck of a
he's
fucking
trying
person.
to hook up with the one girl
Right.
because she has a different voice.
Yeah, so he meets these two girls. Well, the one is completely different, played by Jennifer Jason Leigh, and her voice is different. The
But she
face
looks
is
this-
different. But
Is
her
it different though?
her
Like I
friend,
thought her face was the same.
Her friend had the same face
Yeah, I
and
saw
the
that.
same voice, that Noonan did. The whole thing, and he gravitates towards the one that's unique.
Lisa, I think it was.
Yeah, her name is Lisa, and
Anomalisa.
who's an anomaly.
Are you just now putting this stuff together?
Shut up.
They did talk about
No,
that.
that's embarrassing.
While they were
I'm an
in
idiot.
drawn out conversation while he's trying to bang Lisa, and she just
Christ.
kept fucking
No, you
talking.
can fuck all of us
Listen.
except for Lisa. Don't fuck Lisa.
I'm gonna. This is
I'm
gonna
an
sound
idiot, I'm
misogynist, as sexist as all get out. But I have been on the receiving end of a Lisa in my life. Maybe that's not her name.
Who's your Lisa?
No, but where you're trying to get down to business.
Name's protected.
And and all they want to do is rant and talk. Oh, my friend's hotter, blah, blah.
Well,
Ladies, if you're listening to this,
no one's listening.
we don't give a fuck. We don't care. You are in the room where our focus is on you. We don't care about your hot friend.
Okay, so I've had this conversation with other people too, where it's like, well, we dress this way for you. I was like, I don't fucking care.
Right.
No,
I don't care if your underwear looks like a fucking you killed a cheetah.
Right.
I don't care. Take it off.
You could, you could come in dressed in a Barney costume.
You know that really
And I'm
lacy,
still like-
beautiful bra that
And-
you took, you spent $50 on. You're like, this is the most beautiful thing. It's gonna be great for you. No, I
What-
don't care.
what bra?
What's underneath?
Yeah.
Unhook that shit.
Consent is everything.
Does
And
it,
you should
does-
always
is
look
it
for
hook on the
consent.
front or the back? I don't care.
But
Get it off.
I don't want to listen to about your day.
That's a
I
nice
don't-
dress. Get it off.
I don't care that you love chicken Alfredo. And I'm not saying I don't care about those things ever.
No, I
Just
care
when
about
we're in bed
Oh yeah.
and we're about to smash.
I can.
I do not give a fuck about anything. And I'm sitting there listening to her talk to him, and he's like kissing on her neck and stuff. He just wants to get down to business, and she's
And
like,
she is rambling.
Well,
and
this
she's just
just-
rambling. And I have been in that situation. And let me tell you, it is infuriating. Not because only because all your blood has gone to one spot, and you're not thinking about anything
Is that
else.
how it works?
Yeah,
Your dick.
but you just that is you could literally give him a recipe for fucking making your favorite chicken Alfredo, and I guarantee until
care.
he finishes, we ain't gonna give a fuck.
Well,
So that part of the movie was perfect because I've been in those fucking situations.
It's the most relatable.
That was the part of the movie that evoked so much emotion from Aaron.
He's so mad.
He was so angry. He's like, when is she gonna shut up?
Shut up and just smash.
Only
her.
because I have been in that situation so many times, and you can't just be like, shut up. You have to sit there and
And
listen
pretend like you care.
to the ramblings. Yeah, and pretend
You're
like you care.
You're unbuttoning shit. Yeah, you're like sliding your shorts.
And that's exactly what he was doing in this
Kicking
movie.
your shoes off, turning off lights. You're like,
It was hysterical.
Yeah, well, no, her character is the mousy. No, she doesn't think anyone ever notices her.
Right,
And I
yes.
get
Right.
it, and I understand the reasoning behind it. And he is on the opposite end where her voice is the new thing. It's different. It's like that ray of sunshine, and he can't stop focusing on her, but she's so downtrodden that she is the home on prom night kind of chick where no one's ever gonna fucking pay attention to her. She doesn't understand why he's so into her.
You like
he doesn't
me?
understand why she doesn't shut the fuck up and wants to smash. And that's that dynamic, and it's so interesting. And that's where that interesting ends for me, really.
And that's where we get we go to the nth. Now, we got this one time before, and if you've ever seen Team America, we've got
again my notes.
Yeah, we've
Team
got-
America had a better puppet.
Yeah,
sex
we've
scene.
got
I
just a
wrote that
puppet
right
sex
here.
scene where they're just clanking on top of each other, and that's hilarious.
I laughed.
This
so hard.
one is like a legit
They try.
sex scene. I mean, we're talking about puppets going down on people. We're talking about full frontal nudity on both ends. I mean, her still acting stupid, even in the midst of everything. And he finally
cigarette after sex scene.
he finally smashes this chick after, like, what was it, maybe 25 seconds? That whole scene was about 25 seconds.
At least.
And he was just like,
Probably took 9 years to
I'm-
fucking animate.
yeah, I'm done,
6
and
months.
I'm smoking.
6 months to
man.
animate the fucking sex scene.
Co-director Duke Johnson stated it took 6 months for him to animate the sex scene because of technical reasons, making the scene realistic as opposed to comedic.
I mean, after Team America, I could see where you'd want to not repeat that kind
Right,
of.
I get all
we
that,
get it,
but
puppets
it
are
was
fucking-
so uncomfortable because they
It was
were
weird.
They were puppets.
Yeah.
and you know what
Yeah.
I mean? Like, if redo this movie with human live actors, I guarantee. I don't want to guarantee anything because everybody loves this movie. I looked up the reviews on Letterboxd and everyone's like, "This movie changed my life. This is the best animated movie I've ever seen." That's fine. It reminded me a lot of John Malkovich, where John Malkovich sees himself and then he sees, and the one person, I think Cameron Diaz, I don't remember, I haven't seen it in forever, is like
forgot she was
different.
in that movie.
And but there's no John Cusack character, but it's more about a guy who's just so involved in his own shit that's going on that he's so blind to everything else that's going on. He's trying to figure out what in his life changed, or he doesn't even think it's him. He thinks it's everybody else who's changing, and he doesn't realize that it's internalized and it's him.
He's
So
fucking
he
fucked up.
finds the next new thing, and even at the end, you can tell that person is changing into the thing he hates the most, and he's already making plans to move in with her just so it can go the same way that it's going the whole time. This movie is excellent. However, as an animated movie, it is just so weird. It's so hard to watch, and it's so awkward. And the scenes that shouldn't be awkward are, and just people are. It's just a weird dichotomy. And I didn't hate this at all. It to me, it would have worked way better. I mean, he made it as a play. Fucking use people, I guess. I don't know, man. It just to me, it felt so out of place as an animated
I think it's just
movie.
that thing where you're flexing, saying, "This is one of those that I can do it, so I'm going to do it."
Maybe. And he's very eccentric. He's a crazy
Yes.
he's like a crazy talent. And I get that. All his movies, everything he's written is pure masterpiece. And even to this to some extent is a masterpiece, but I never need to watch this movie.
No.
Like it is the most, when you think of independent film, when you think of snooty, like put your nose up and watch this instead of any Marvel film, this
Film
should be the
festival.
fucking poster child for that, because this is the most artsy of art house cinema, where you get your own, you think about what your own ending will, or not what your own ending is, but like you put your own.
It's very interpretive.
It's very interpretive, yes, and it's just, I mean,
you don't get a straight answer
Right.
on what the movie is actually about.
and it doesn't
No,
end
because-
in a happy sense.
Oh, it's
Sorry.
fucking weird. No, the ending is fucking weird because he flies back home. He was on a business trip, and that's where he meets this chick. He was at some convention, whatever.
He was giving a speech.
Yeah, he gives a speech. He's like the rock star of the fucking customer service world or something. I don't know. So he goes home. His family looks the same, and he fucking wigs out on his wife, who looks like him and talks like Tom Noonan. And then he looks down at his kid, who looks like him and talks like Tom Noonan. And then he walks away because he's realized nothing's ever going to change for him.
Right.
He's stuck in this rut, and that's how he's going to die.
And he's going to keep going.
And he
fighting
bought
this
some fucking weird Japanese sex doll for his kid. And then the end of the movie is the kid just staring at this weird Japanese geisha sex doll.
Well,
he goes outside.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he goes outside, and then he's staring at the sex doll.
Gotcha.
On the stairs.
Well, and there's also something that I did take from the movie that I thought was interesting was at the end, Lisa and her friend are driving in the car and they're talking, and you can see Lisa's friend looks normal now. She does not look...
because we're not seeing it through his lens
We're
anymore.
not seeing it through him anymore. So, again, we go back to the fact that he's creating all his own fucking problems, and everybody who now is not around him is leading normal lives, and they're not all in this, like, weird world.
Well, it's funny because the movie starts, and the first real bits of dialogue, I'm sitting there going, this is definitely a Scott's movie. And it starts with, fuck you, just fuck you.
Yeah.
And I'm like, yeah, this is a Scott
That's
movie.
how Scott talks.
That's how literally Scott talks all the time. That's how he says hi. I'm with you where I think the story is good. Well, great. I think the story is a great story. I think it suffers from the medium it's being told with. And that's why I can't say this is excellent to me because I found myself bored. But not because I didn't like it. Like, it's such a...
I totally understand what
this
you're
is,
saying. And I know it
this
doesn't
is like
make
the
any
movie
sense
title.
to
This is a
people.
very anomaly to me where it's
Yeah.
like, I like the story. I thought it was excellent in that sense. The medium sucks to tell this story. You're right. I think this would have been better as a stage play. And I found myself bored but engaged.
Yes.
I can't
100%.
really articulate
I didn't
this
care
enough.
at all what happened next, but
Not
I
one
found
bit.
it interesting to watch.
Yeah.
It's like, okay.
I'll never watch it again.
Exactly.
But
And I don't...
I can't recommend it either, but I also...
Just like last week with
think it's
Wizards,
good.
I think this is one of those movies that if you're getting into film and you want to see some different type of animation, this is something you would watch. If you loved it, if this changes your life, more power to you. But when it comes down to it, you can see this type of dynamic and a lot better, dramatic films coming with real emotion.
Also, fantastic Mr. Fox. I'm sorry. I'm inserting all the stop motion shit that keeps coming out. So go ahead.
But I'm just saying, like, I think there's more. I think there's better.
There's better ways to tell this
dramatic roles that do a better job, and I have absolutely no problem with this film. Watch it. Tell me I'm stupid. That's perfectly fine. But I didn't see the point of it being animated. I didn't see the point of it to exist because it's not like anything groundbreaking. It's just telling a story you've seen 1,000 times in a different way. And like I said when I was watching this just reminds me of John Malkovich.
Yeah,
exactly the same. And I mean,
especially the scene where John Malkovich goes inside his own
that's
head.
what I was saying.
And
yeah.
all the people are John Malkovich, and it's like Malkovich,
Exactly.
Malkovich. And it's a 15-minute portion of a movie made into an hour and a half animation.
Yeah, and I think this is one of those things where it's like I didn't really care for that. I understand what makes it great, but I did not care for it. And if you said that online, people would be like, "Oh, you're an idiot. You don't understand movies." Blah blah blah. Whatever. That's fine.
As far as Charlie Kaufman, or Charles Kaufman, as his friends call him,
I was trying to be dignified.
this is a very surface level version of a Charlie Kaufman movie, man. It's like there's no real deep waters that he's treading here. Like I feel like his other movies have done better.
Have you seen Schenectady, New York? I don't know how to pronounce it.
Actually, I think I have.
Dude, it's so weird. Like no one can. I could not figure it out. And then I went online, and everyone's like, I don't know.
Well, there's movies that I've seen that I'll admit I don't fucking understand shit from it. Like there's a movie called I Heart Huckabees. I remember seeing it. I don't know what the fuck that movie's about. And I'm not gonna lie, like some of Charlie Kaufman's shit, you have to watch a couple times to really feel what he was trying to put across. Like I love being John Malkovich.
I mean, this is one of those cases where I think, again, you got a bunch of people in a room and they're like, you know what would be great? We're going to do the stop animation. Because
Right.
that's like a labor of love type thing. I mean, you're moving things piece by piece by piece by piece
Oh,
to
you have to
create this.
commit.
Yeah, it's a committed art. And I can see someone who wants to do that thinking that, hey, this is going to hit because, look, our passion for this is so immense. But something people see a screen and they're like, oh, that's cool. Look, this puppet's moving. Not knowing how
No
much
one's gonna
actually
care.
goes into it.
Yeah,
you know,
I think you're completely correct with him saying, I'm going to do it because I fucking can.
right.
It has nothing to do with anything. Sure, I could have done this as a stage play. Sure, I could have filmed this. I am going to do this stop motion because I can.
Oh, I don't know what the hell that noise was.
I thought that was your kid.
No, are you farting?
That was my phone.
Oh, sorry.
It's a fucking baby dinosaur
he
in here.
did do.
Duck.
He did write Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind.
I
which,
love that movie.
Who doesn't love that movie? And Confessions of a Dangerous Mind, which is a fucking masterpiece.
It is good.
Hear me now. To the people who think it sucks, I will fight you.
I know about
I don't-
3 people off the top of my head that think
I'm
that
looking
sucks.
though. I don't think he did. I Heart Huckabees.
No, I'm not
Oh,
saying he
okay.
did it. I'm just saying there's movies out there where it's like they get real deep into things, and I'll sit there and go, I don't know what the fuck I just watched.
Right.
Like, this is not that. Like, I get it. It's very straightforward. It's not as deep as an adaptation or,
Right.
being John Malkovich, and you're like, oh,
Eternal
Sense of
Sunshine. I
Self,
would
Eternal Sunshine. Like,
I
that
would
is.
think if you were like, oh, I want to get into Charlie Kaufman,
That's the one you do it.
You go straight for Eternal Sunshine,
That's
and
the most
you act like
mainstream you can do.
and you act like you found it, like every other person. Oh fuck!
Oh, I'm gonna dye my hair, and I love it. And,
Oh, dude, everyone's like, oh, this movie's underrated. You ever heard of it? Eternal Sunshine. Like literally everyone's heard of it.
Motherfucker, I
Like,
saw it in
please,
the theater
yeah, me
twice.
too.
I want to punch you in the face.
Same weekend as Girl Next Door came out, and I preferred Girl Next Door, but I still like Eternal Sunshine. However,
Oh, that's weird.
what?
I don't know. That's just such a weird thing to say. You watch both of those and you preferred the other. I don't
I
know.
like Girl Next Door a lot. It
Oh,
has
it's not
Paul
bad.
Dano. It has Emile Hirsch, the chick from 24.
I love
What's his
her.
face? The
I love
dude
her so much.
from Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, but he was also in Justified. What's his name? Timothy Olyphant.
Timothy Olyphant.
Olyphant, whatever. Fucking awesome movie.
love
Anyways, so what'd you guys give it?
I'm going to probably go right down the middle. I'm going to give it 2.5. I think it's fine. I think the animation is great. I mean, it's visually appealing. The story is kind of like, just like you were saying, the story is weird to put to a stop animation film, and it kind of detracted a little bit from me, and I think that's maybe what gave me a lower score of it being maybe a 3. But I'm going to go right down the middle again. It's not something that I'm probably ever going to watch again.
Right.
But I watched it. So I've seen it.
I get it.
Jordan.
Yes.
I'm kind of in the same boat where it's like 2.5. I feel like it's better than most things I've seen. I do think it suffers from the medium that the story is being told in. Like, it's hard. And I'm not one of those where it's like, you can't tell good stories in cartoon. No, you can. We've both watched a lot of animated movies that can tell a compelling story and do it well. I just think this particular story suffers from the fact that they did it in stop motion. And it's not so much that I hate stop motion. It's just I didn't think it fits. It just doesn't. And I love the voice cast. I love these people. I didn't connect with it like I think I wanted to. And I can't find myself recommending it to people. Like you said, if you want to get into Charlie Kaufman, watch Eternal Sunshine. I mean, watch things like Being
I
John
wouldn't
Malkovich,
recommend this to be
adaptation.
the first film.
No.
I've never seen adaptation. I know it's a Nick Cage movie, but yeah, I'm gonna give it a little bit higher score, and only because of the factors that it is Charlie Kaufman, that it is a well done dramatic performance. I'm gonna go 3, and I'm not gonna use any of my personal feelings about it because I like this movie. I'll never watch it again. Even if it was like Majestic, we're playing this is Anomalisa is the best. Well, okay, I'm not going to the theater to see it because I don't want to sit in a room and watch a puppet eat out another puppet for 20 minutes. And I really
Right.
and again, I don't want to come off as like, oh, you're just pretentious. No, if you like this movie, awesome. If this is one of your favorite movies ever, like, cool, that's great.
I couldn't
and I
see anybody saying
totally get it. Oh, please go to Letterboxd.
I'm going to.
Go to fucking IMDb. Literally, I get it. I totally understand. These are the movies that make you fall in love with movies, and that's great. That's wonderful. But coming from somebody who's just seen every, like a lot of movies, it just doesn't it works better in different dynamics. I think Eternal Sunshine's a better movie, and I think it's almost the same in a different
It feels
way.
the same.
So, yeah. Okay, then. Before I wrap this up and before we move on to the snack show, as always, you get a week off. We're going to be coming back with some regular picks. So next...
Oh, shit, yeah, I don't know what you're picking.
Yes, you do.
Do I?
Yeah.
That's been so long.
Being John Malkovich.
Which I've seen.
Now that I remember, I'd have never seen Adaptation.
So I am going to pick a movie that we have talked about, but I did not bring up on my phone because I forgot.
1940s war epic.
we're what, a year into this already, man, and
Getting there,
every
man.
fucking time he has a movie, he's like, "Well, hold on, hold the fort,
I think
guys."
our bit is like at our year anniversary, we're just going to recycle everything. So we'll just talk about the same movies in the same order just for an entire year. It's going to be great.
The 2005 mystery noir, directed by Rain Johnson, Brick.
Brendan?
Emily?
I really screwed up.
Screwed up how?
The brick.
What?
I didn't know it was bad, but the pin's on it now. You gotta help me.
Slow down now. This isn't good. No. Emily said words I didn't know. Tell me if they catch. Brick? No. Tug? Tug might be a drink, like milk and vodka. Pin? You know the kingpin. Dope runner, right? Big time. What are you gonna do? She asked for my help. I just want to know she's okay. So what's first? I'm gonna start shaking things up.
So you didn't know this boy?
No, sir, never seen him.
And he just hit you?
They asked for my lunch money first. Good thing I brown bagged it. You're coming into a certain situation. It's twisted. I'm looking for Emily.
You left her.
Yeah, I did.
You better be sure you wanna know what you wanna know.
Complicated. Everyone's got their thing. When the upper crust does shady deeds, they've got symbols so they can tell each other that word getting around.
Coffee and pie.
Coffee and pie? Oh my.
Keep up with me now.
You got a cigarette?
I don't smoke.
I've seen you smoke.
I don't smoke cigarettes.
I thought we had orange juice. I'm sorry.
Water's fine, ma'am. Thanks.
Oh, wait a minute. We have apple juice. It's country style.
If I get to the bottom, whatever this is.
What do you want?
Just to see you sweat.
When it gets too hot. You got a discipline issue with me? Write me up or suspend me.
I see that you're trying to help her. And I don't know anybody who would do that for me.
You are dangerous. I set out to know, put her on the spot. And put her in front of the gun. There's not much chance of coming out clean.
It stars Joseph Gordon-Levitt, Norman Dreyfus, and a bunch of other people you've never heard of. So I could name them, but you've literally not. Only other person I think is maybe Richard Roundtree. So, okay.
Richard Roundtree was a black actor.
He is, still is.
Well, I'm assuming he still is, but yes.
It hasn't changed.
He was actually, Richard Roundtree was going to be in one of the other blaxploitation movies I was going to pick, so that's kind of funny.
Okay, Ram Bergman, Nora Zahintner.
Those are porn names.
Tracy Bitroloff, and Lucas Haas.
I know Lucas Haas.
Okay, well, there
he
you
was
go.
in Solar Babies.
So you can find this
I love Solar Babies.
on Hulu, I guess, or whatever. I'm sure you can.
Oh, can we find this?
Yeah, it's showing up right there.
Yeah, for money.
So, yeah, I've been meaning to watch this a lot. I am a huge component that Rain Johnson is a great director. Looper is one of my favorite movies of all time.
He made the best Star Wars
sequel.
Yeah,
fight us on that. Go to iTunes.
I will fight everybody.
Leave us a review. Let's talk about The Last Jedi, because I will argue with you all day and night. Especially watch Obi-Wan and then watch The Last Jedi and then say it sucks, because I'll fucking argue with you. Okay.
I'll back you on that one. That's my favorite one.
Yeah. As always, or not as always, I just really want to thank Marc again for coming on the show. Once again, that's orbitdvd.com. You pick up all your boutique stuff. Lie to buy a bunch of movies, don't watch them, and then lie to your friends and say you did watch them, because you're going to look like me with a big room full of movies. They're not. Those are the only ones
I'm just kidding.
that you haven't Watch. I haven't opened
True
this
romance.
yet. And I have the other one over there.
I was gonna say.
So, please give them a like, follow on all the social medias. They're so good about posting, and let them know you let Marc know you heard him on our show. If you do that, I have a surprise. I will be monitoring the social medias, and I will be giving you a present personally.
Oh.
So if you listen to this show and you listen
that
to
just
our
means he's not
interview,
giving me something.
Aaron gives you
you already have
puppet
it.
sex.
and it's still in the plastic. It's not used. So yeah, go ahead and follow along on our social media. I'll watch it later. If you do decide to check out Orbit and order anything, tag us. Let them know that you listen to us on the show, or listen to him on the show, and we will see you guys back here next week for one of probably the most epic snack shows. We're going to be digging into the Austin snacks.
The most talked about snack show to date.
Yeah, we got some Jordan snacks. Once again, Scott has brought absolutely nothing to the table.
And we still have time to get more.
There's time.
We do. We have time to get more in case. So just let you know the week that you have off where it's just the snack show, you're going to be able to sit back, relax. We're just going to do it all.
Celebrate our
2 hours
nation's birthday of nothing but eating and camaraderie.
Right. And we're going to do them all. So if it's 2 hour snack show, it's 2 hour snack show. Just
I was going to say, and we might have a reoccurring guest.
I hope
and
not,
it's going to be
but...
No, because if we have the hot stuff, I want to make her eat it.
I'm just kidding.
I told her if she comes, she has to eat the hot stuff. So it's going to be good.
Yeah, I have a pepper she can eat.
Okay, cool.
And a chip.
It's going to be the one chip challenge.
Yeah.
Like, well,
please give her that.
Well, lost custody. That's great.
All right, as always, I'm Aaron.
I'm Jordan.
And Scott.
Big goals, huh? Well, see you later.